dealership, isn't the impact that they have on those that are on the outer loop something that we're really going to value? We'll come back to this idea a bit later too when we hop into the social media section for just a quick minute. But I think that this is pretty valuable because there are many on-ramps into this process. It's not a funnel where you pour somebody in the top and you get money out of the bottom. People can come and go, but this takes into account really interpersonal relationships. We used to say 7 out of 10, somebody will have a bad experience, they'll tell 7 to 10 people. We know that's not true anymore. It's at a much greater scale. So being able to understand that impact of word of mouth is probably something that's pretty important to us in this room. Now, we do have options just to leave the negative out there. Everybody likes to see the negative once in a while. You can just forget that post-purchase process, right? You could have salespeople who sell cars just high-five the person next to them and forget the customer forever. And if they didn't like that experience, if they're not happy with their deal, or they don't like the car, or for whatever reason, they can have a very negative impact and really spread that sentiment to the folks around them as well. Now, we already mentioned this. I'm actually going to save some of this discussion for the social section. So one of the core things in the presentation was for me to talk to you about now what, right? What about that first marketing dollar? What would we do potentially if we started over? What about our advertising budget? I would say that today, if you had to wipe your budget clean, start all over with no real preconception of performance, the first dollar would probably go right to your dealership website. In fact, I've had some dealers tell me that the first dollar would go there potentially before the sign outside the dealership.